What's up, SNA fans? Happy holidays and Merry Christmas. This is Super Ninja Austin back here a few hours later with another SNA video, which will be the SmackDown review. This will be the holiday edition for Friday's SmackDown, like SmackDown before Christmas time, and this is the last review before the year 20. This will be the last video before the year 2023 is over. And the next time you see me doing the SmackDown review definitely be January 5th, 2024. Make sure y'all stay tuned and continue stay tuned and keep watching until then. But without further ado, we're going to talk about tonight's what went down on SmackDown. And that's starting off with AJ Styles cutting his promo with some explanations and again answering the questions that everybody has since his return. Since his return. And then this is where he says right here onto this promo, like is where he's like, I sent a message to Roman Reigns, and this is where he starts saying, this is where he cuts a promo. Okay, let me rephrase that. This is where he's just like Randy Orton wants Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble, and then not to mention LA Knight wants Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. He's like, and he's like, and at that point, I don't blame either one of them for wanting a piece of Roman Reigns. He's like, but I also don't give a damn about either Randy Orton or LA Knight. And then this is where fans are booing, like boo after cheering about what AJ Styles noticed about everything about WWE. They'll be right back. They're giving you TV. You need some eat? Yeah, you're both with kids. Uh-oh, yeah, you need to pull up change. I don't know. Of course, you're quick though. Yeah, it's we're gonna be eating all this. It's spaghetti in your soup, in your stew. Okay, you got all of them there. Make sure, hopefully you have a big appetite. Yeah. That's yucky. Yeah. Should have ate this days ago. I'm gonna just rinse this off. Yeah. 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 Where do you want this at? Trey, where do you want this at? Trey, where do you want this at? Come on. Hurry up. It should be cooled off and you start eating. You can start eating it. Yeah. I'm gonna be ready to eat. Okay, thank you very much. You ate. Yeah, you sure did. You're a big boy. Right here. Try you got your eye. It's right here. I'm trying to tell you. You're welcome. Yes, please. You will eat. Just let me go up. Everybody, you asked me why they changed the pull up. I was like, well, he didn't want me to, but that's not gonna. If you think you're gonna believe me, you hardly will. He's like, you should change pull up. I was like, well, without hearing everybody else's mouth, I'm gonna do this now. So, wish I had. You want to eat your food now? Come on, Leo. There you go. Make sure you enjoy. Sorry if that took so long. My nephew just got up, and I should have made sure he was all set. But let's continue what AJ Styles had to say on tonight's SmackDown. Why everybody put me in charge of everything? This is where we got LA Knight interrupting him after he said that. He was like, "Let me talk to you," like usual, just like staring directly at AJ Styles. And this is where he took off his shades. Like he's like, "I ain't gonna come out here and I'm gonna argue with you on who gets Roman Reigns first. Like whether if it's Randy Orton, whether if it's you, or whether if it's me, LA Knight. Yeah." And then this is where he's like, nah. And then he's like, there's nothing to argue about. Like, we got something to consider something right now after what happened me at Crown Jewel. And I tell you what, you can have Roman Reigns but after I'm done with him. Or after I'm done with him and I get him first. That's what he said exactly. This is what the fans are saying. Yeah. I'll give you a deal on this, AJ. Like, Roman Reigns, is going to get this man first when everybody's saying they not what fans are chanting. And he's like, yeah. And then LA Knight's like, but consider what happened last week. Like, the first, like the next guy LA Knight could face first could be AJ Styles. Yeah. And this is where AJ Styles like, oh, you did so because the reason why he had an opportunity with Roman Reigns is that he stepped over my dead body, took my spot, like replacing me, team with John Cena to face Solo and Jimmy, and then and not even a month later, you get a shot against Roman Reigns for his WWE title, and then he's like, that's where it all started, and this is where LA Knight's like, all right, if you're gonna bring that up, let's talk about it. And he's like, if you or anybody else gets in my way, you're gonna be in. Like I'm gonna drop you and them too. Which Randy Orton came out, he was like, wait, you guys, like, he's like, I can appreciate like both of you and your issues that you have with Roman Reigns as well, like your issues you have like with the bloodline as well, like, but Roman Reigns and the bloodline, they put me on the show for 18 months. And they were the first guy they target before any of you had an issue with the bloodline. Like, in 18 long months, they put me on the shelf with my back injury. And then he's like, and I enjoy being at home, like, boys, but I was missing my second home here, which is like right here in this ring. And I want to tell you two something right now. Nothing is going to get in my way. So quite frankly, here goes, fella. Before you can even explain something to either both Knight and Styles, this is where LA Knight interrupted him. He was like, whoa, like, let me stop you right there before you can continue. Like, no disrespect, no disrespect, Orton, but let me point something out right here. Like, the Bloodline took you out, and then the Bloodline took you out too. And anybody remember that they took an LA Knight out, and everybody's like, yeah. And then the LA Knight was like, nah. And he's like response in a hilarious way, like, which they mistakenly said the wrong answer, which I don't think they took him out. They just, he barely defeated him. Like, that, therefore, like, he still gave, like, LA Knight kind of got a reason because he got screwed out of a match, but they didn't took him out. That doesn't mean they took him out. He's still standing on his feet. And this is where LA Knight's like, you guys, like, here, have fallen, fear in the bloodline. And what that means, you guys take every bit out of the bloodline that you want to. Come on for the ride. I got Roman Reigns where I won. This is where Nick Aldis came out, and he was like, three of you gentlemen, I'm sorry to interrupt me. If I have your attention, please, for one moment. And then he's like, this is, in fact, the situation we find ourselves into the way I see it, like, each of the three of you has a legitimate claim to face Roman Reigns, and that's very understandable. And I decided to give y'all three opportunities individually to face Roman Reigns next in line at the upcoming event in 2024. He's like, so in 2 weeks from now, we'll present SmackDown, the New Year's Revolution edition of this event. And at such event, it will be AJ Styles versus AA9. And the fans are like, yeah. And then like versus Randy Orton in a triple threat match. And winner gets to face Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. And everybody was cheering for that. Like, yay. I was like, but the Fatal 4-Way match had more potential, like much more than just a typical one-on-one match. Like, it's kind of too easy for Roman Reigns because we've been seeing him like ever since defending the championship from the first Royal Rumble. He defended it on one-on-one matches like 3 straight years in a row. This is about to be his 4th straight year. Unfortunately, it would have been more better and it would have more story to tell. Like, especially if you're gonna build up LA Knight versus AJ Styles on the road to WrestleMania. I mean, we still can see that at this year's Royal Rumble, but I think they'll be facing. They'll be rather be at the Royal Rumble, which I predict is going to be Randy Orton's going to win because there's nobody else that is going to win this Royal Rumble much more than the Viper, and the number one guy that's more vengeful at the Tribal Chief is none other than the Apex Predator, the Legend Killer, the Viper, Randy Orton himself. Here's where Randy Orton gave a stare to his future opponents from there. And this is where AJ Styles responds. He was like, all right, whatever it takes to get Roman Reigns, I'll do it. And he's like, I'll see you two at New Year's Revolution edition of SmackDown in 14 days from now. This is where before he left out the ring, this is where he turned around facing LA Knight. He's like, my match against Sosa Cola later on tonight, like, anyone gets close in this ring, like, I'll take you out too. And then LA Knight's like, okay, like, you don't have to tell me twice. And then same with Randy Orton in his eyes, like, okay, like, we're trying to be helpful right now because we all agree that we want a piece of revenge on the bloodline because they screwed us over like multiple times that we can count. Like, but yeah. Well, what's your thoughts? Who do you think was gonna win this tonight's match on SmackDown? Let me know in the comments down below. We're gonna and this is where Corey Graves was being absolutely Mark mode right now because he was like saying, I cannot believe it. Styles, Orton, and Knight and in one night in a triple threat match, even though that is kind of a dream match that you would definitely want on your bingo card of 2024. But you don't have to go too excited and go like full Mark onto this scenario. But this is where we had Carmelo. We got hype up with Carmelo Hayes against Kevin Owens in a one-on-one fight. Like for in a one-on-one, I would say not just the ordinary fight, but like a I'll say a one-on-one like match. Like would be the semifinals. The winner gets to face either Santos Escobar or Bobby Lashley on the other side in the finals next week, I believe. But at the at the next week's SmackDown, which is going to be pre-taped, of course. Unfortunately, I won't be talking about that week's SmackDown review. But for now, I'm just going to talk about what's going to go down, what went down tonight, and then you'll see me. The next review will be part 20 at the New Year's Revolution edition of SmackDown. But yeah, this. Up next, we got the 8 women tag A Miracle of 34th Street Fight match. Street fight match like with Team Bianca with her and Zelina Vega, Michin, and Shotzi against Damage Control's Bailey, Io Sky, Kairi Sane, and Asuka, aka the Kabuki Warriors. We're going to start off with them brawling in the ring. As soon as Damage Control got in the ring against Team Bianca's team, brawling out around the ring. Like, and this is where we're going to get to the middle of the match, like where it started, like all. Which was Shotzi and Bailey, and this is where Corey Graves had the nerve to take a quote from the Grinch, the Dr. Seuss series, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, which is a classic, by the way, in Christmas. He was like, I want to touch Shotzi with 39 and a half foot paws. Like, yeah, obviously, because the lady that just gave birth to y'all son is the only person that you would touch, the only woman that you ever touch. And also, you got the wrong women's wrestler that you should be telling that to. Like it should be the one with the red hairline dye and the one that's trying to look like a Grinch herself, which she's a total wannabe. You should be saying that to her, like, which I think of her, like, I wouldn't like the one that Shotzi was wrestling in the ring when he said, I was like, I know the one that's wearing the yellow and black gear that has the reddish, I'll say the reddish dye black hair. Like you should be saying that you should be saying that like which I quoted like that. I wouldn't touch the woman that loves like calling certain cities Tropicana. I wouldn't touch her with a 39 and a half foot pole because she's 1,000 times worse than the Grinch himself. But anyways, let's move on to the Shotzi. Like she got Bailey down like in the corner in the left hand corner of the ropes. That's where she ran right on. She put the chair right onto the right in the middle of the ring. This is where she had her like face first right onto the rope. This is where she hits like some kind of a stepping stool senton back first right to Bailey's back. This is where Shotzi grabbed on the chair. This is where she throws it in the right side of the ringside area. This is where Shotzi This is where Shotzi was like, "Come on, Michin, like get up here, like get up on the ropes, like." And this is where she went right. She was hanging on to the left corner ropes and between the middle and the top, like if she was some kind of a tunnel, like for Shotzi to do the suicide dive, make it more easier for the right onto the knockdown both Io Sky and Bailey right onto the ring on the left corner ringside area. This is where Zelina and Michin was still in the ring. This is where they were getting hype up of diving in their own respective spots in the ring. This is where unfortunately the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kyrie, came back in the ring, started hitting them with kendo sticks right into the back in the midsection of both Michin and Zelina, like like knocking them out of the ring. This is where they started dancing, started celebrating. I was like, perhaps y'all celebrating way too soon because this is where the leader of the babyface team, Bianca Belair, in her WWE 2K19 inspired gear, comes in the ring, which I believe it's supposed to be the Miracle at 34th Street Fight inspired kind of gear, but it looks like when like her old character, her old younger character from back a few years ago in 2K19. But anyway, this is where she got a candy cane candlestick along with Shotzi. They got back in the ring, started whacking them in the back from their backs, like because they weren't expecting them to come out anytime soon, like. And they were celebrating way too soon. They just started whacking the absolute daylights and sugar honey iced tea out of them. I started whacking them, like bang, bang, giving them like at least 34,000 lashes, I should say. And yes, sir, that's a reference to the match and the movie, the other classical movie, the Miracle of 34th Street, the 34th Street. This is where both Shotzi and Bianca grab a table from under the ring, which they gave the fans what they wanted, like because you always give the fans what they want when it comes to street fights. Like if they want to see tables, you always get the tables. Like if the Dudley Boys are here, like even when they're not in WWE no more. But anyway, this is where Bailey and Io Sky attacks them from behind. Like as soon as they got the tables up, this is where they try to get their. That's why they try to get each other back up. This is where they pick up the tables and then whack both Shotzi and Bianca Belair midsection first right onto the table, like when it was in sideways. This is where it starts celebrating like yeah. They start doing doing their dance. This is where they brought the table in. This is where they brought both women in this match. This is where well, anyway, this is where they start trying to do continue their beat down onto the babyface team. This is where come on. little device is acting like this right now. And this is where, my bad, I'm getting it right now. This is where the Kabuki Warriors knocked down. This is where the Kabuki Warriors knocked down what's her name? They did a spot like they missed what's her name? They missed. It was Zelina Vega. This is where they try to see what weapons next into one of those what's that? One of those Christmas presents right on the ramp. This is where it was Isla Dawn on the left side. I was like, Isla Dawn, like this is very unusual. This is where they try to go for the other one, the other side, which was obviously it was Albert Fire. Once Isla Dawn was out there, you're definitely going to see Albert Fire. This is where they beat up Asuka and Kairi Sane, which I'm not sure what's the reason why they did so. And I'll say, let me tell you this: it's not the only time, and this is where Kairi Sane gets that double gory bomb combo finishing maneuver. Why even went the whole game? Here you go. Well, let me tell you this: this is not the only time that in 2023 that Kairi Sane got gory slammed before, which I can't talk about here right now. But I'm saying that's not the only time like that she got gory slammed in professional wrestling. But this is where she hit double team right into the ground by both Isla Dawn and Albert Fire. Like good, and then this is where Bailey tried to get in here. This is where Bianca Belair hits a KOT right onto her. This is where Io Sky hits a genius moonsault right off the top rope in the lower right corner. This is where Mia Yim hits that twist her arm and she puts her foot right into her face, stomp backwards, with her going down onto the ground. And this is where Io Sky hits left jaw right to the face. The left jaw right onto Mi Chin's foot. This is where she puts it right onto the table. This is where Mi Chin did a most insane senton right off the top rope. Top rope and landed right into that exact same table Io Sky was on, landed right on her, giving the fans what they want, a table spot into the match to finish off with her getting the 1-2-3 to score the victory for Bianca Belair and the rest of her teammates. And your winner tonight of this 8-woman tag Miracle at 34th Street fight, Team Bianca Belair with her, Michin Mia Yim, Shotzi, and Queen Zelina Vega. No, not Queen Zelina. Zelina Vega, my bad. I'm still thinking it's WWE 2K23, which I don't think I should think about that right now. This is where we got more hype up videos with the Bloodline attacking AJ Styles. This is where when that happened, this is where we got a backstage segment with the Bloodline, especially with Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns having a conversation with Roman Reigns. Is like, who's this who's this new SmackDown GM? And then it's where Paul Heyman was like, is Aldis, Nick Aldis. That's what his name is. He's like, He's like, and I'm not trying to do the time to brief you, but this Nick Aldis guy, he's he's this, and this Roman's like, no, 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 you don't have to explain yourself. Bring him in so I can have a talk with him. This is where Paul Heyman did so. Went on his way to go to Nick Aldis' office and tell him that Roman would like to speak to him. I was like, well, that's very that's very bizarre because when you go to his office, unless he invites himself over and he knocks on your locker room and have business to discuss. But anyway, I don't say he would invite himself. I'll say more like unless he comes to you and asks you to have a meeting with him, because after all, like he's he's even Roman Reigns' boss on SmackDown, at least on the show, like in the show's perspective. Like for him being on SmackDown, he got to do what Aldis has to tell him to do. Like in order for him to be the champion on the show. That's the whole point of him being the GM in the first place. Well, anyway, this is where we got the North American Championship match. And before I begin with this, I want to say about the Bianca versus Damage Control match. Yeah, I know y'all guys are getting very tired of being Bianca versus Damage Control. Like either way, whether she's the leader of a group or she's the side or in the side, like teaming with another individual that's the leader of a group. She's always getting involved facing against Damage Control, but you gotta admit this match was really good. I'll say if not second best when it with that War Games match, I would say this was the best, if not the greatest match that they had in Bianca versus Damage Control. They've been doing from the past year, from the past year or even year and a half I have ever seen into this rivalry. But hopefully things be put to rest as soon as 2024 comes around, which some tells me it does, especially for the fact that Bayley may not be teaming with Damage Control anymore if the rumors turn out to be true. This is where we do, this was perhaps the second match of the night, if not number one match of the night. The women's, the eight women tornado tag Miracle 34 street fight match, I should say. But this is where we got Butch taking on Dragon Lee for the NXT North American Championship, which he did have a really good match in a battle with the current Braun Brutes member, I should say. Like Dragon Lee put on a well thought out fight, but yeah, you already know that Dragon Lee already got this. This is where Butch grabs onto him, try to go for a headlock, but this is where he tried to twist his arm after go for a headlock. This is where he does a big impressive front flip. This is where Dragon Lee hits a headlock right on the Butch. This is where Butch Irish whips Dragon Lee right into the left corner ropes. This is where Dragon Lee hits a wheelbarrow roll up, but Jessica Carr hits counts to one, counts to two. But this is where Butch kicks out at 2.1 second. This is where Butch hits an armbar, but this is where Dragon Lee flips out of it. This is where he goes for a big boot right into the face of Dragon Lee. This is where Dragon Lee ducks out of the way. This is where Dragon Lee looks out of the way. This is where he tries to go for a kick to himself. This is where Butch grabs onto his leg. This is where they start spinning around, but they're having their respective right legs. This is where they put their legs down respectively. This is where Dragon Lee started to go spin around back and forth with the former NXT UK champion. This is where Butch hits a big brutal forearm right to the face of Dragon Lee. This is where Butch grabs onto Dragon Lee. This is where he bends the arm. This is where he puts it right on the ground. This is where he hits a double knee stomp, I should say, right to the right onto the left arm of Dragon Lee. This is where he got his right arm into a hammerlock position. This is where he's trying to bend that finger back right onto Dragon Lee. But this is where Dragon Lee stomps on that back of Dragon Lee. This is where trying to Irish whip him right into the upper left hand corner of Tina the Turnbuckle. This is where Butch puts this is where Butch tried to go for an attack, but this is where Dragon Lee dodged out of the way and went right to the left corner ropes. This is where he hits an enziguri kick, which he landed back onto the top left corner of Tina Turnbuckle. He tripped over his legs, which he sits down on the bottom turnbuckle. This is where he hits a springboard drop kick, right foot right to the face, right boot right on the money into the face. This is where Dragon Lee picks up Butch. This is where Butch hits a nasty chop right onto the chest of right onto Dragon Lee. This is where Dragon Lee grabs. This is where Dragon Lee was hanging on to the upper left corner. This is where Butch tried to go for a splash. This is where Dragon Lee picks up Butch. This is where he hits a super kick right onto the head, which it was hanging right off the top rope onto a trio flow like position. This is where Dragon Lee is like, all right, like here goes. This is where he get ready to go for a suicide dive, like right to the left side. But this is where Butch hits a step up enziguri right out of nowhere, right onto the head of Dragon Lee, which knocked him on his tracks, hanging off the middle ropes. This is where Butch picks him up into a suplex position, hits him with this signature move, which he flips over a Dragon Lee to a suplex, like back first, landing him, hit the signature move, that suplex flip kind of majig, like which he landed back first right into the left corner apron, which is the hardest part of the ring. This is where Butch then grabbed onto his hands right on the apron. This is where he stomped on him, like both hands, hurting all his fingers and his hands into the process. This is where Butch tried to go for a moonsault right onto Dragon Lee, but he moved right out of the way, right on time. The Butch was like, "Damn it!" And this is where Dragon Lee tried to get back into the match and try to come up with a move to do onto the Bruiserweight. Like this is where the Bruiserweight tried to come up and try to beat him to it, but this is where Dragon Lee did something very amazing, like absolutely amazing, like one of the amazing moves, like in his high flying career, of course, like especially in 2023 when he hits a running flying Hurricane Rana, like just put his legs between Butch's head and swing him right into the left corner ringside area, like back first right into the concrete floor, with them landing hard. Dragon Lee was on his knees right onto the corner. This is where This is where Dragon Lee throws Butch right back in. This is where he hits that big thunderous drop kick right to the shoulders of Butch. This is where he picks Butch up. This is where he go for that sit out power bomb, but this is where Butch flips out of it, doing a tiger driver right onto him, like which I should say a Tyler driver, like a move that is longtime frenemy and longtime UK frenemy Tyler Bate would have done, which Dragon Lee faced him like a week and a half ago from this past Tuesday's NXT. But the referee counted 1, the referee counted 2, but this is where Dragon Lee kicks out at that final last second at 2.999999999, double triple nines, 0. Which is 0.1 away from being 3. This is where he started hitting slaps and chops right onto the chest of Butch. like back and forth onto each other. This where they start hitting chops and slaps right onto Dragon Lee. This is where Dragon Lee like slaps the hand right off of Butch. This is where he hits a big boot right to Butch's. This is where he hits a ripcord. Try to go for a ripcord forearm or elbow or a clothesline. This is where Butch hits a forearm right back onto Butch. This is where he hits a step up into gear. This is where Dragon Lee answered back with a big thunderous knee strike right into the face of Butch. This is where Dragon Lee tried to go for a clothesline to Butch, but this is where Butch moves out of the way. He bounced. This is where Dragon Lee bounced from the left corner ropes. This is where he hits a German suplex onto the luchador Dragon. This is where Butch tried to go for a clothesline, but this is where Dragon Lee moves out of the way. And he bounced right into the left corner ropes. And this is where he hit the German suplex right onto the middle of the canvas. This is where Butch got, and where he hits the double foot stomps right into the hand of Dragon Lee. This is where Butch hits a running roundhouse kick forward. This is where he tried to go for a suplex flip maneuver, but he forgot he already done this move, and it was like he was double lucky, so it wasn't a guarantee because this is where Dragon Lee hits. He flips out of it into an encountering suplex flip, and this is where. And then this is where Dragon Lee did that rolling flip kind of maneuver, what's that flip, like rolling into a power bomb like maneuver, getting a sit out power bomb. And this is where he tried to go for. This is where he tried to go for a 3, and this is where Butch kicks out at 2.99999999999 double triple nines, 0.1 away from being 3. This is where This is where Butch tried to go get back up when Dragon Lee was on his knees. This is where the fans were like, "This is awesome! This is awesome!" But I'll say I would give this match third match of the night guaranteed. It did not disappoint whatsoever. Even though the United States Championship tournament matches did not disappoint it either, but I'll say this one definitely did not disappoint it. Same with the women's match, it was very entertaining. It gave something to watch before the holidays come, and a reviewable show before 2023, properly, of course. Even though I heard this was pre-taped at the time, a week ago, so the WWE superstars can take time off for Christmas because they can see their family and friends. Or they're more like families, I should say. They can see their and celebrate with them for a whole week until the live event house shows will come to occur, I should say. But this is where Dragon Lee trips over Butch. This is where he had him in the trio of woe position. He does do the double foot stomp onto Butch. This is where his finger was still that's where his fingers were still in pain, in agonizing pain, and his fingers were bending in the wrong places. Luckily, they wasn't broken, but they were bent by Butch. He put them back in place like what Malachi Black had to do when he was Aleister Black at the time back in the Royal Rumble in 2019. Ow, he bent it right back on the finger right before I was Super Ninja Austin, of course. But I was like, ow, and how Aleister Black put it back in place. And then this is where Dragon Lee tried to go for that surfboard DDT maneuver. This is where Butch picks him up, counters, intercepts, where they pop up forearm, nailing him right in the jaw, left jaw, knocking him out in the process, I should say. This is where he tried to go for the bitter end, but this is where Dragon Lee counters out of the bitter end and hits a most impressive Canadian destroyer I've ever seen in 2023 from any professional wrestler. It's the first time I saw a wrestler hit a countering Canadian destroyer like this, especially whatsoever. Overall, it's the first time I saw any wrestler hit a countered Canadian destroyer. I was like, wow, he did that so perfectly. How did he did that? And this is where Dragon Lee had him right into the This is where he had him right into the corner. This is where Dragon Lee went right into the upper right hand corner to get ready to hit his finishing move, which that was that flying flipping surfboard slam. Or the like the I think it's called the Information Dragon. I don't know that, or the Confirmation Drag. I think it was Confirmation Drag. Get the 1, 2, 3 and retain his NXT North American Championship. And what do you thought about tonight's match? About this match? And do you think he should defend the North American Championship more often while he's still also on NXT as well, doing the same on there? And do you think these open challenges, like every once in a while on Fridays and every week on NXT on Tuesdays, or something that WWE needs to do with the NXT North American Championship? Like, and they have and to gain some more prestige, like John Cena, like much as John Cena did with the United States Championship. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about it in the comments down below. But I think this was a really great match. Like, they need to, yeah, like I said before, and I'll say it again, like they need to do matches like these a bit more often, though. But yeah, this was a really great match. They need to do more of it, of course. But yeah. We got and I want to give a huge congratulations to Dragon Lee on the SNA podcast of retaining his North American championship. Hope we got more successful retains where that came from in the foreseeable future. But anyway, let's move on to the tournament with Carmelo Hayes defeating Grayson Waller and Kevin Owens defeating great Austin Theory, like in this part two of the first round of the United States number 1 contender tournament, invitational, I should say. This is where we got the prize fighter. But anyway, they won their respective match last week against both the halves of the A-Town Down Under, like which they scored the semifinals with Carmelo Hayes get ready to face Kevin Owens, like in this match up next against the prize fighter, which it started off with them fighting it out. But before they fought the match, and this is where Roman Reigns discussed about on how could he put him in a corner with Randy Orton and LA Knight and AJ Styles in the number 1 contenders match. And he was like, I am your undisputed universal, and I also the tribal chief. And he was like, and you see, like, you need to understand that, Nick Aldis, that I'm ahead of the table as well. Like, everything goes my way. And this is where Nick Aldis like, I don't have no feelings as me being general manager, but as we're having this conversation, like, he's more like Paul Heyman, like he's more of a middle manager at this that type on here on SmackDown. I am the legitimate general manager of Friday Night SmackDown. He's like, and the buck stops with me. Like, and I am the shot like in the end of the stick on SmackDown now. He was like, and speaking of Solo, like he's a big boy right out there. Like, I mean, he took care of John Cena from this back a month ago at the Crown Jewel. Like, he took care of John Cena in a way that I don't even recall. Like, you were taking care of John Cena, like with something that you haven't do like in like 2 years and a half. Like, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Solo Sikoa to take on the phenomenal AJ Styles tonight. Just like I am so looking forward of that triple threat match 2 weeks timing, like the first SmackDown of 2024, the New Year's Revolution, edition, which that's my version of saying it. But he's like, I can't wait for this triple threat match. I want to see who's going to face you at the Royal Rumble and try to dethrone you for your undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Like, and I am absolutely looking forward to whoever's the winner of that match, and most importantly. And then this is where Roman Reigns starts staring at him like I'm looking forward to smashing who could that possibly be. And then this is where he's like, And it's like, I can't wait for more productive dialogue. And I really hope we can get to know each other better. Like, you understood, Roman? This is where he got him straight, like, which something that Adam Pearce should have done, like, from the start. Like, no offense to the Raw GM, but he could have did a better job of having things balanced out. Like, and maybe we would have had somebody dethrone the tribal chief sooner. Oh, I'm just kidding about that last part, but he could have let him know, like, even for retaining his championships and being a dominant champion, like, he should do everything like Pierce's way, or else he will be punished by his championship be taken away. Like, for being like a very good general manager of letting the champion not get it easy, I should say, will have it easy, I should say. But anyway, this is where we have the match with Carmelo Hayes, which was a very entertaining match. I'll say most definitely earned the spot of the fourth match of the night. Like, and none of these guys disappoint. Like, for two of them being both former NXT champions in their own respective runs in NXT, like, and then being in the semifinals was probably the best call for WWE have ever did. Like, which I thought we'll probably see Kevin Owens defeating Grayson Waller in the semifinals, with Grayson Waller defeating Carmelo Hayes, which I don't think that was a smart idea. Like, when I think of it, like when Carmelo Hayes got the win, I was like, maybe this is a smart move. They can show him he's got it left in the tank. He got what it takes to be a main roster star and a main roster champion. Like, with him being well established, like on NXT, like winning belts like the North American Championship on two separate occasions, and winning the NXT Championship itself in the beginning of this year at Stand and Deliver. And then it's like, as soon as they get done with the storyline on who attacked Trick Williams, we could see him being called up to the main roster sooner rather than later, like anytime after WrestleMania 40. But this is where Kevin Owens put Carmelo Hayes right into the right hand corner of the ropes. This is where the referee was like, come on, like, let go. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where Kevin Owens was like, all right, I have no problem with this young guy. This is where they start trying to. It was like about to go for a grapple, but Kevin Owens hit the smart move and they trip him over by his leg. So I go for a pin. But he's like, even better try to go for a headlock for now. This is where Carmelo Hayes tried to flip out of it, trying to hit a arm drag, but this is where Kevin Owens still hanging on to the head. This is where Carmelo Hayes tried to grab onto the leg, try to go for like a dragon screw lock. This is where Kevin Owens tried to go for a sleeper right into the head of Carmelo Hayes. Looking like some kind of a Ring of Honor style match, or even a National Wrestling Alliance style match. But excuse me for a second. Hello. Hello. Yeah. Come on. There's a phone being used. Uncle Julie trying to see Dad's calling. I need to get rid of the earbuds because oh, sorry about that. My stupid ass earbuds are being retarded as usual. But yeah, hello. How's it going, brother? Everything's all right. Yeah, Trey's having lots of fun right now. Like with his little fire truck. You know, right there. I can hear you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everything's doing fine. Yeah, thank you for calling. Yeah. He just woke up like at 10 o'clock, I believe. Like an hour ago. Yeah, I'll say about 10 o'clock. Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah, anytime. Mhm. Okay, bet that. Yeah. See you then. All right, bet. Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah. See you when you get here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Mm-hmm. Here you go. I should be keeping an eye on you. Come on, Trey. Are you gonna watch your Kaji? Okay. Okay, I'm back. SNA back. Okay, let's continue to talk about this very entertaining match with Carmelo Hayes and Kevin Owens, which yeah, they definitely deserved an award for the best fight of the night. Like with them fighting like and putting on a clinic, I should say, to describe the ordeal of tonight's episode of the Blue Brand. Ah, and it's where we're gonna continue by talking about with them going for headlocks. They go for a lot. That's where Kevin Owens that's where he tried hitting, try to go for a left hand on to Carmelo Hayes, but Carmelo Hayes blocked it, hit a left hand of his own, then the right hand, forearms, and this is where he hit the knife edge chop, which was silent, but it was still deadly. Like, even though this is where he got him right to the upper right corner. This is where he hit the step up Instagiri right onto that corner. He this is where he hits the clothesline right to the upper right corner. This is where he hits the snapmare. This is where he hits a running leg famous drop. This is where he tried to go for a pin onto the prize fighter, but this is where Kevin Owens kicks out at 2.999. This is where this is like a scissors kick, kind of like leg drop. This is where he tried to go for I believe tried to go for a suplex or a suplex cover, which I think it was a suplex spinning cover, but Kevin Owens flips out of it. Hits a right hand, hits a knife edge chop as well, which still was that same kayfabe broken hand, but yeah, it was a deadly chop, but I don't think Gunther's gonna add him on the envy list. And if he had anything to envy them about, it would ask Nick Aldis, both Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce, to do a crossover match against these guys. But this is where Kevin Owens goes right through the right side ropes. This is where he gets bicycle kicked by Carmelo Hayes. It's where he runs right to the right, to his right to the bottom corner ropes. This is where he hits a flying head scissors and face buster to the prize fighter. This is where he goes for the pinfall, but this is where Kevin Owens kicks out at 2.5. This is where Carmelo Hayes like, oh, come on, man. And this is where he This is where Carmelo Hayes tried to go for some kind of a top rope kind of super spiked stunner, but Kevin Owens flips out of it, draping him right on the top turnbuckles into a draping spike DDT right into the ring. Try to go for a pin onto to Carmelo Hayes, but this is where the Carmelo Hayes shockingly kicks out at 2.999999999, double triple nine, 0.1 away from being 3. And this is where even Corey Graves like, I don't know how Carmelo Hayes kicks out of such a maneuver like that. Like, that was very brutal. And this is where Kevin Owens was like, no matter. Like, this is where he's like, This is where he's try to go for. This is where he runs right onto the upper right corner. This is where he try to go for a cannonball, but he gets super kick in the interception by Carmelo Hayes. This is where Kevin Owens hit a super kick on his own, respectively. This is where Carmelo Hayes hits try to go for a big boot, but this is where Kevin Owens flips out of it. This is where not flips out. He picks his legs, he spins them around. This is where he's about to go for a sit-out power driver right onto the A champ. This is where Carmelo Hayes flips out of it. This is where they try to go for a super kick again, but I think that wasn't a guaranteed, obviously, because Kevin Owens hits a big boot right to the face. This is where he hits a knife edge chop, which was a bit high pitching, but I'll say like a quarter way there, like the first time. But the second time was more silent but deadly, which that will get Gunther's attention. And he's not he doesn't care whether if he provokes the ring general at all, because if he wants to, because Kevin Owens will probably say if he wants to fight, he can gladly give him to, because that's what he's definitely good for, in this industry. That's where he started repeatedly hitting those chops. This is where he Irish whips Carmelo Hayes right to the right-hand corner. This is where he tried to go for a springboard clothesline, but this is where Kevin Owens moved out of the way. He hits a running clothesline out of nowhere, which made Carmelo Hayes go for a 360 right into the air. This is where Kevin Owens try to go for his now secondary finishing maneuver, which used to be his main finishing maneuver, when he was in that feud with John Cena, which is the pop-up powerbomb. When he tried to go for an Irish whip right towards the bottom corner ropes. This is where they get ready to hit the pop-up powerbomb. This is where Carmelo Hayes did the most perfectionate intercepting counter maneuver, out of the pop-up powerbomb. Now it's his signature flying face breaker right to the face of Kevin Owens, right into his face. How did Carmelo Hayes counter out of that? And this is where I was no. Don't do it. Are you gonna do is he gonna do the nothing but net to pull off an upset? No, Kevin Owens move out of the way, taking a page out of Samoa Joe's playbook of no selling that. This is where Carmelo Hayes try to go for the face breaker again, but this is where Kevin Owens finally hits the pop-up power bomb, because it was a guarantee. WWE had to do it, or else it wouldn't make no sense on paper, because Kevin Owens was not double cursed at that time, because he's actually the favorite to win this tournament, to face Logan Paul for the United States Championship. Excuse me for a second. Trey, are you all right? Are you doing okay? What are you doing? Don't tell me. Okay, just give me 5 seconds and I'll do it again. Okay. But yeah, he did a guaranteed pop-up power bomb, which I've never seen him successfully execute the pop-up power bomb in a while now. He only tried to attempt to go once, every once in a while in his matches, but he always gets countered. But this time he got it because they noticed this and they wanted to do this spot. And two, it was a guaranteed anyway. So of course he was going to hit the pop-up power bomb. But this is where he tried to go for a pinfall, but the referee counted the two, but he nearly got him, but Carmelo Hayes got the shoulder up at 2.999999999, double triple 0, which is 0.1 away from being 3. But this is where Kevin Owens hits a huge swanton bomb, which now is a signature move. They even show that on WWE 2K23. That's a signature move. This is where Kevin Owens grabs onto the Carmelo Hayes. This is where he hits him with the stunner, down to the ground, hit the stun gun onto Carmelo Hayes, and got the 1, 2, 3. And man, this was definitely, if the Dragon Lee and Butch match wasn't really good, I would say wasn't good. I don't wish that on none of these wrestlers. I'd say they killing it into this industry. I'd say if there wasn't that Dragon Lee versus Butch match, this would have gotten at least to the third match of the night, because that they worked their behinds off into put on a great contest, which they also deserved. They tied with second match of the night last week when I made my SNA podcast from last week's SmackDown. But they've been putting on bangers after banger matches, even though Sheamus was not there because he's still injured at the time, and two, he was probably celebrating Christmas with his wife and his extended family, I should say. But everybody was clapping for the match. If I was there, I'll be doing the same thing because, like, yeah, this was a really good match. Like they gotta get credit from their fight. Like for putting on a great contest. Like they'll be in the semifinals to face either Bobby Lashley or Santos Escobar, which that was up next. But and who you thought was gonna win the match between Bobby and Santos? Let me know in the comments down below. And also, who's going to be who's going to win the finals to face Logan Paul, I believe, at the New Year's Revolution edition of SmackDown, which I think Kevin Owens should win. Even though Logan Paul really didn't have that much of a chance of being the United States champion, and let alone defending it until this coming year in January 2024. But yeah, maybe he needs a successful victory here. But I think Kevin Owens is killing it on SmackDown lately, and we need somebody like a Kevin Owens to defeat a obnoxious heel to him become the new United States champion. Same belt they haven't been in like 6-7 years when he was his Mr. American gimmick. Well, but this is where we got the OC in backstage with including me, Champion, which she was in the holiday spirit. She gave her big brother AJ Styles a hug. This is where AJ Styles, okay, you can let go now. And this is where Carl Anderson was like, "Are we still good? Are we the OC?" And this is where AJ Styles was like, "I'm not sure, and I don't know. Like, are we?" And this is where he walked away from his allies. This is where Michin was like, "What was that all about?" His ass like. But this is where up next we do got Bobby Lashley taking on Santos Escobar in a one-on-one semifinals match on their match, which was the second match of the semifinals, I should say. Because if we were gonna have that match with Carmelo Hayes against Kevin Owens, we're gonna have a less of a more disappointment match because this match was really entertaining as well. Perhaps the fifth match of the night, if you ask me. On this list of the rankings, if you want me to rank what was the best matches of tonight's SmackDown on the December 22nd, 2023 edition of the show. But before I continue, I better do this do a little tour with my little nephew right now, real quick. If you excuse me, I'll be right back in the next couple of minutes. Okay, for the white bees and the dusty. Don't need to be a bother. Like, if you messed up, oh, that's you. You still want glory spread? What glory spread? Okay, I'll put you on this side. Okay. Junior. You sure have. It might be like. Color Express, yeah. Your daddy and your Aunt Miri and your. Yeah, 30. Yeah, eating. Go in the. This one, the plastic. That's fine. Uncle SNA is fine. Yes, he has to continue doing his podcast anyway. Here you go, baby. Exactly. You know what? Maybe I should hurry up and pee, and then I'm gonna finish doing my podcast and then. You effing bar. But let's continue. My apologies. Hopefully that didn't take no long. But yeah, and what are your thoughts on the tease of a breakup with the OC between like AJ Styles and with him saying like, are we still the OC like with Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson? That's a good question. That remains to be seen as well. We just have to stay tuned until what's in store for 2024. But anyway, this is where we do have the match with Santos Escobar against Bobby Lashley. This is where Bobby Lashley rams Santos Escobar, picking him up like a child, put him right into the lower left corner, start putting shoulder right into the midsection of Santos Escobar. They're running right through between the top and middle turnbuckle, and this is where Bobby Lashley hits him face first right into the bottom right corner, hitting right hands right onto Santos Escobar. The referee is like 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where he hits a belly-to-belly suplex right onto Santos Escobar, right on the other side. This is where Bobby. This is where Bobby Lashley grabs onto the right hand into the hair of Santos. This is where Bobby Lashley grabs onto Santos Escobar, throw him right to the upper right hand corner. This is where Bobby Lashley was like grabbing onto Santos Escobar. This is where Santos Escobar go right onto the right corner ropes. This is where that's where he hits an insecurity kick right onto Bobby Lashley. This is where Santos Escobar goes right on the top rope. This is where Bobby Lashley caught him with the right hand. This is where he tosses him out right to the left corner of the ringside area. This is where Santos Escobar was crawling and running like a coward. This is where Bobby Lashley went right in the right side. This is where he grabs onto Santos Escobar, throw him back in the ring. But this is where Santos Escobar hits a cheap shot. This is where he hit him with a chop block, like targeting that bad left leg. Like it's where he started twisting it back and bending it, like if he was about to do the figure four, like with his legs like crunching onto that bad left leg of the Almighty. This is where he started grabbing. I was like, oh my God, like my leg. This is where Santos Escobar was like, get back up, get up. This is where Santos Escobar is like, I'll give them what these people say. Like they're not like they don't run me. And this is where he hits a double knees right to the face of Bobby Lashley. This is where he tried to go for a second time. This is where he successfully got double knees right to the shoulders of Bobby. This is where he's like, come on, like this is one more time to get back and finish what I started. Like Rey Mysterio what Rey Mysterio took from me. And he did this like Santo, put his arms up like this, like a cheap, lame, cheap knockoff version of Sheamus's Brogue Kick. Like, like position, like Santos. And this is where he does a double knee for like the fourth or maybe even the fifth time in a row. This is where Santos Escobar going lefts, right to the midsection of Bobby Lashley. He hits a side sweeping legs right onto the legs of Bobby Lashley. This is where he grabs onto Bobby Lashley, put him right onto the upper right-hand corner of the top rope. This is where he hits a right hand onto Bobby Lashley. This is where Bobby Lashley count and hits a right elbow right to the head of Santos Escobar. And then this is where he tries to go for a step-up instigiri right to the head. This is where he grabs onto that's where he puts his legs right onto the outside of the ropes, like off the top rope. This is where Santos Escobar tried to go for a Frankensteiner right off the top, like move. But this is where Bobby Lashley countered. This is where Bobby Lashley gave the crazy eye right onto Santos Escobar. I was like, I am going to kill you. And this is where he slams him, like made him do a backflip in the process, like right off the top rope. This is where Bobby Lashley like went right off to got off of the top rope. This is where Bobby Lashley was like, come on, spear. And this is where Bobby Lashley tried to go. This is where it's like, you know what, like I'm not gonna go for a spear. My legs are messing up anyway. This is where he grabs onto him. This is where he hits a reverse STO right onto the middle of the ropes. The face first right onto the canvas. This is where Bobby Lashley's like, with both my legs, like this is where he starts stumbling back. This is where he try to go for the hurt lock. This is where a fan came out, like a luchador fan. Like this is where he started trying to go for, I believe, trying to attack one of the Street Profits. Like I think Montez Ford, but the security guard just tackle him down. This is where Corey Graves like, come on, give him a chance. Like maybe he was just trying to. Maybe he was just trying to say hi to the Street Profit. Might be a big fan. Like, just give him a chance and just say hi and tell him to get back into his seat. And then this is where I was like, I'm not sure if this is part of the script or part of the show or not. Like, whether if it's a work or a shoot, we're gonna probably gonna figure that out on the on December 23rd episode of the SNA podcast Wrestling News edition. But yeah, perhaps we're gonna hear it tomorrow afternoon. But for now, let's continue with the matches where Bobby Lashley tried to go for it. Like this is where Santos Escobar hits the insecurity kick right to the head. This is where Santos Escobar tried to go for a running charge attack, whatever maneuver he got for Bobby Lashley. This is where Bobby Lashley caught him in a single claw choke slam spine buster right onto Santos Escobar. This is where. This is when these masked luchador minions came out here. This is where they started attacking Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. I was like, perhaps this is part of the script or else like we would never see these guys again. Like when security came and tried to stop these so-called fans trying to attack the Street Profits, when they came out of nowhere and started attacking them. I was like, who the hell are these guys? I was thinking like, what the hell? Like, why are they attacking like the Street Profits? But this is where This is where something shocking happened because Bobby Lashley, as soon as Bobby Lashley was distracted with this is where he tried to help out his boy, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. This is where he got got caught off guard by Santos Escobar, got dropkick right in the back. This is where he tried to go for the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, which is a surprise roll-up. And he got him with the 1-2-3. I was like, how the hell did he got the win with Bobby Lashley? You expect him to win and score and go to the semifinals with Kevin Owens. Even if he does lose to someone like Kevin Owens, so what? Like, Kevin Owens is in the main event level too, so it wouldn't have hurt his credibility. What would hurt his credibility if we get distracted like this and get hit with the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment. But I mean, this could turn into some kind of a six-man feud, like with the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley taking on Santos Escobar and his new minions, like whoever that might. These guys may be under these masks. And then the rumors turned out to be true, like, because we have seen the return and the NXT call-up, because once these two minions that attacked the Street Profits revealed their mask, it turned out to be none other than Humberto Carrillo and his cousin Angel Garza, Los Lotharios, like being the new minions of Santos Escobar, like Santos Escobar, to help him get the victory of being in the semifinals. But even though he may gotten the win from Bobby Lashley, that doesn't mean he's going to beat Kevin Owens, because he's still the favorite. He's going to beat Santos Escobar, and he's going to face Logan Paul at the New Year's Revolution edition of SmackDown. Just wait and see, folks. Like, you ain't seen nothing just yet. Yeah, but it seems like the rumors were true about Santos Escobar having two minions, which is going to be none other than the Los Lotharios themselves. Like when they revealed their mask, that's where they start celebrating with the and this is where Santos Escobar was like, Santos is not alone anymore. Like, unlike those backstabbers, Joaquin and Cruz, like, I got some boys that'll stick to my side no matter what, like, to the core. But wait, what's your thoughts on them replacing Joaquin Wild and Cruz del Toro as Santos minions? Let me know in the comments down below. But this is where Butch went backstage. This is where he was very disappointed of not capturing the North American Championship. This is where Kathy Kelly was like, Butch, like, don't mean to bother, but things didn't go on your way. And I asked you, what's your response into this unfortunate loss? And this is where Butch was like tonight wasn't my night. But I did what I always do. I put out a fight, and then congrats Dragon Lee. He brought the fight to me. And this is where Pretty Deadly came in, start to try to get under the skin of Butch, with them saying, like, on our second day of Christmas, I truly get to me. Like, it's not the second. On the first day of Christmas, I truly get to me. One only Butch. And then this is where Butch started hitting strikes right onto both of the faces to shut him up. Like, I'll say this was perhaps this was the goofiest wrestling of the night, like the goofiest wrestling moment of the night, like with that line alone. This is where Butch started hitting right hands right to the face of both Elton Prince and Kit Wilson. But the only thing this is where he started beating both of them. This is where they started getting split up by the backstage producers and gentlemen. And this is where this is where Nick Aldis was like, get these two obnoxious boys out of here. This is where he tells Butch, he's like, Butch, we don't settle things like that around here. Like, if you want to fight with both, like Like whatever physical intentions that you want against these two guys, like here you go. But anyways, this is where he was. This is where Nick Aldis was like, if you we don't do that like that around here. If you want to fight with him, we'd sell it into the ring. If you want either Elton Prince or Kid Wilson, I'll gladly will. And he's like, if you want both of them or even both of them, you can find yourself a tag team partner as soon as next week's SmackDown. Oh no, not next week. It will be 2 weeks from now. Not like, look, if you, my apologies. Like, Trey, no, you don't have nothing to play with. You're gonna keep doing that. But anyway, this is where it's like you find yourself a partner at New Year's Revolution edition of SmackDown, January 5th, 2024. Like, you got that? Like, that deal? In a tag team match, all right? Which is like, fine. Like, I'll do it your way. But if you can book me into this match against those two obnoxious obnoxious morons, then I'll gladly will do so. That's what he was looking like. I'll gladly will do it your way. Up next, we do have the main event of the evening, and perhaps the match of the night, which is the phenomenal AJ Styles against the Street Champ and the Enforcer of the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa. Which, it start off with the phenomenal one getting destroyed by the Street Champ, with him hitting thunderous clotheslines repeatedly. This is where he started beating down the poor phenomenal one. This is where the fans start booing, like, boo! We do not want to see your ugly, violent, infested face on this television screen. This is where Solo Sikoa is like, oh, you don't want me to beat up your favorite wrestler? This is where he tried to go for a body slam. I was like, I noticed, but before I continue, I noticed AJ Styles was wrestling in dress pants, something like he did when he wrestled The Undertaker at the Boneyard match. I wonder if this is gonna be what he's gonna be wearing from now on, like try to be a little more proper into his in-ring gear, or this is just a one-off because maybe he lost his gear, like with his pants, but maybe not, because he wore this when he was when last week, like when he hit the phenomenal forearm to send a message to the Tribal Chief and also to LA Knight as well. But this is where he hits a Pele against the gear right onto Solo Sikoa. This is where he hits a side swiping right legged kick. This is where he hits a right knee strike right into the face of the Street Champ. This is where AJ Styles starts slowly stalking the Street Champ. This is where he picks up him. This is where he hit another Pele against the gear kick right onto Solo. This is where AJ Styles did a maneuver like I did on WWE 2K22. Samson, get back. Samson, don't be too excited.
Don't be too excited.
I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. Look at mommy and daddy got. Yeah.
That's for Julian. I mean,
try you.
What you got?
But yeah, this is where AJ Styles did a maneuver like what I did on 2K23 with AJ Styles against Solo Sikoa, is to do an outside version of the move of the phenomenal forearm right onto the right hand corner of the ringside area, and then knocking him down right on the ground. I know he did a phenomenal forearm. It was he flipped over right into the right corner apron. This is where he hits a side swiping knee strike right to the face of Solo Sikoa, landed in the face first. This is where AJ Styles got back in the ring. This is where he's like, come on, referee, count. And this is where he finally do hit the phenomenal forearm. Yeah, that's when he hit it. And it reminded me when I played a couple hours ago when I played WWE 2K23 on my Xbox. Like I just went right onto except it was in the bottom corner of the ringside area. Like he hit the phenomenal forearm, like boom, right onto Solo Sikoa. Yeah. But this is where we bring him back into the ring. This is where he continuing to do his beating on the Solo Sikoa until he got the upper hand. He tossed him like a piece of piece of dumbbell and launched him right into the bottom corner, the bottom turnbuckle, and right through the inner part of Rita the ring post onto the bottom right corner of Tina the turnbuckle. This is where Solo Sikoa went on the outside, started beating him into a bruising pulp, like right into the bottom right corner of the ringside area. This is where everybody say, "You suck, you suck." And he's like, "I may suck, but I am your enforcer." And I was like, Solo, like that's not a good comeback to the fans. But anyways, this is where Solo Sikoa like grabs onto AJ Styles. This is where he throws him back in the ring. This is where Solo Sikoa like runs right to the the left corner rope. This is where he hits a diving headbutt right onto the right corner side with AJ Styles. This is where he landed right onto his midsection. This is where he goes to a pin for AJ Styles, but this is where he kicks out at 2.9. This is where Solo Sikoa's like, "Man, you are not easy." And this is where Solo Sikoa tried to grab onto AJ Styles, but this is where AJ Styles hits the right hand and hits a knife edge chop with his right hand. This is where he started repeatedly with those knife edge chops. This is where Solo Sikoa hit this is where AJ Styles tried to Irish whip Solo Sikoa right to the upper right hand corner turnbuckle, but he gets countered by Solo and got launched by him again. Except this time into the upper right corner onto the middle turnbuckle face first. Like right into the turnbuckle. This is where the referee is like, "Are you okay?" And then, "Are you okay, Styles?" This is where he's already sees like, "So, are you okay?" He's like, "Don't touch me." Like I'm perfectly fine. I was like, "Thanks, Solo. Like I know you're addicted to violence, but that doesn't mean you have to push away the referee like that in the volatile way. Like you're luckily the referee's nice and he's not going to DQ you." But anyway, this is where Solo Sikoa goes straight for go to AJ Styles. This is where he tried to go for, I believe, a running hip attack, trying to think he is his Uncle Umaga. This is where he's like, "Ah!" This is where he tried to go for it, right, which he did so right onto AJ Styles, like right to his face. And this is where Solo Sikoa go right into the middle ropes. And this is where he tried to go for this big solo splash right onto AJ Styles, or the diving headbutt, trying to be like his Uncle Umaga. But this is where AJ Styles rolled out of the way right on time. This is where AJ Styles tried to get back up and try to get back on his feet. This is where Solo Sikoa shaking his head off. This is where he tries like, "I gotta get back up. I gotta get back up." This is where Solo Sikoa was sitting out in the snapmare position, right, facing towards the left corner ropes. So that's where AJ Styles hits a phenomenal forearm, right, a running phenomenal forearm right through the left corner ropes and back into the right side. This is where AJ Styles hits a diving moonsault right into the middle of the canvas. This is where he tried to go for a pin, but this is where Solo Sikoa, this is where he pins Solo Sikoa, but the referee counted 1, referee counted 2, but Solo kicks out at 2.7 seconds, I should say. This is where AJ Styles was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, what to do now just to..." And this is where AJ Styles picks up Solo Sikoa. This is where he tried to go for a right hand, but AJ Styles blocked it, hit a right hand of his own. This is where he hits a kick right to the side of his left leg, and then spin around and hits a back elbow, and then a discus clothesline. But this is where Solo Sikoa counters, push him right to the upper ropes, the upper corner of the rope, and hit a flying Samoan drop right into the middle of the canvas. Try to go for a pin to AJ, but the referee counted the 1, counted the 2. But Styles kicks out at 2.9999999. double triple nines. It's a negative 0.1 away from being 3. This is where Solo Sikoa was getting ready to hit the Samoan spike right onto, but not Samoan spike. No, this is where he tried to go for another Samoan drop. Let me rephrase that. AJ Styles countered out, flip and roll out of it. This is where Solo Sikoa tried to go for a right arm clothesline. AJ Styles ducks out of the way, hits a Pele against the Giri kick. This is where he knocked down Solo right off his feet. This is where AJ Styles slowly but surely got back on his feet. This is where Roman Reigns came in. This is where Roman Reigns thought he was slick, and then it's where he came out of nowhere. This is where AJ Styles tried to go for the phenomenal form, but AJ Styles got caught off guard by Roman Reigns with a flying spear out of nowhere. This is where he starts stomping onto AJ Styles, saying you know I do the bad people, like your boy AJ Styles, WWE Universe. Like, I smashed him. This is when fans start booing, like, boo. And this is where he picks up Styles. This is where he was getting ready to pick him up, try to go for a Samoan drop. As he was spinning him around the ring. And this is where he was like, this is what I do to my victims when they're on my naughty list on the island of relevancy. And then this is where AJ Styles flips out of it. This is where he hits a big and a KO like Pele against the Giri kick right onto the left side of Roman Reigns' head, which he looked like if he just suffered a concussion, like from taking a blow to the head. Like, looked like it could have knocked him out until the middle of right in the middle of 2 weeks from now, in the middle of January of 2024, I should say. This is where AJ Styles like, you mess with the wrong guy now. Like, it's not the previous AJ Styles, but the guy that's nice. Like, this is where he starts stomping on him now, giving him a taste of his own medicine. This is where Solo Sikoa started trying to double team trying to do a double team attack on the AJ Styles, like with Roman Reigns. When Roman Reigns started to rejoin Solo, trying to double team until we heard Randy Orton's music, like, I hear voices in my, and this is where he came out there to come for the save. Even though AJ Styles said if he does interfere, he might when he's done with Roman Reigns, he might come after either Knight or Orton. Which I think he should take that word back and take Randy Orton's help, like at this case of taking down the bloodline, because like 3 hands are better than 1 at this point, like against the bloodline. This is where Randy Orton start fighting the bloodline. Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns start kicking Solo Sikoa right in the gut, hitting right hands onto him, and then hitting right hands to Roman Reigns, and start beating the absolute daylights out of the bloodline. This is where Solo Sikoa tried to go for a single axe handle onto Randy Orton, trying to knock him down. This is where he starts hitting axe handles right into his back. This is where Roman Reigns come in and try to turn him around, try to hit right hands to his face, but Randy Orton blocked him, so hitting right hands again right to Roman Reigns, right into the right corner side. This is where he started hitting right, boom, putting more right hands for you. This is where Jimmy Uso tried to come in and hit an axe handle. But this is where Jimmy Uso hits a axe handle right onto Orton. This is where Jimmy Uso tried to join into the party and do a double team attack onto Randy Orton. Like, this is where this is where they start hitting the right hands. I was like, man, like Jimmy, like why you're trying to help the bloodline when there's no help? Like you might as well go to the Impact Wrestling with your wife Trinity when they're going back as TNA. But this is where Jimmy Uso starts. Everything's okay. Everything's okay. But you gotta be good, Trey. It's all right. It's okay. But this is where LA Knight came out. This is where he came for the save, which I believe they did a total for the fact that they want to fight the bloodline in general, like not because they want to save AJ Styles, of course. This is where they start hitting. This is where he start hitting lefts to Roman, right to Solo, and this is where he hit a clothesline to Jimmy Uso. This is where everybody was chanting, yeah, yeah, yeah. This is where LA Knight kicked him right in the gut. This is where Randy Orton caught him when he Irish whipped him towards his way. This is where he's getting ready to hit him with the spike DDT. This is where LA Knight clotheslines not Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa, which Roman Reigns rolled out of the ring like a coward would. This is where LA Knight and Randy Orton send them packing. This is where they made sure to have they watched their back for AJ Styles because like you said earlier, this is where AJ Styles was like, well, I told you not to show up, but yeah, I gotta admit, like you did clean out the ring with the bloodline. Like this is what Randy Orton's like. This is what I was trying to tell you. Like I'm trying to tell you, like how about we should work together to bring down the bloodline, including Roman Reigns, and like make sure like one of us go in there and beat Roman Reigns for his Universal Championship, like not just to be in each other's way, like just the work together to finish our unfinished business onto the bloodline, including the tribal chief himself. And this is where Randy Orton's like, yeah, this is where and he's like I'm trying, and this is where Randy Orton tried to talk down on the AJ Styles, but this is where not talk down, like you trying to talk, like trying to calm down AJ Styles. Like we're not here against you. Like we're trying to help you with the bloodline, but we also have our issue with Roman Reigns in this group. Like this is where AJ Styles did a right hand on the LA Knight and then a back fist to Orton. This is where they start to defend themselves. Like this is where This is where he hits a huge clothesline right onto the AJ Styles. This is where Randy Orton's like, yo, calm down. Like you brought him down. This is where LA Knight shoves Randy Orton, just like, well, yo, what the hell was that? And then this is where LA Knight's like, not like you. Like this is where he was like, you do not like. And Randy Orton's like, what was that all about? Like, why are you pushing me off? Like I'm trying to help you out. Like from not. But this is where like where Randy Orton, like this is where Randy Orton that kicks LA Knight in the gut, like, and he started hitting punches. This is where LA Knight punches back. They start throwing punches at each other, like teasing that this is gonna be not an easy fight, and this is gonna be a one hell of a triple threat fight, like of him going like three ways. Like, yeah, this is gonna be like a three-way Hell's Gate battle, like on the road to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, of course, or premium live event, if you want to use that term. But this is where Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa come in. Roman Reigns like, no, let them fight each other, let them kill each other out in that ring. This is where he's like, stop. This is where fans like, yeah. This is where AJ started hitting right hands right onto LA Knight, right onto the lower left corner, while LA Knight was stomping on the Orton onto the upper left corner. This is where he tried to hit LA Knight's face right into the team of the turnbuckle in the lower right corner. This is where he counters his face first right into right onto the hit to the turnbuckle of him. And then this is where the SmackDown ended with a very
get back.
I'll say with a very good show. And
Grandma needs to see you. No, I need to see you. Because if you got any bruises or anything, I'm a witness. Let Grandma see. Let Grandma see. Let Grandma
but yeah. But that was tonight's SmackDown. Like
he could have fractured his baby's skull.
I'm this close to calling the police right now.
Does it hurt? Wait, does it hurt? Wait. Does it hurt? Do you need to go to the emergency room?
But yeah. But that was your tonight's SmackDown show.
No, I'm trying to say.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed it.
What's it called? X-ray. But see, that's child abuse, baby.
Where's it hurt at?
Is that hurt? Is it hurt?
No.
Okay.
Where does it hurt at?
Right here,
but,
on your bottom.
But yeah, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll give tonight's SmackDown like 4.5 stars for having like 5 great matches. Like overall, I would say like pretty much all the matches were really good. Like from the 5 matches on the card, and pretty good segments, and especially Nick Aldis letting Roman Reigns know that he's not the guy in charge of SmackDown. It's him because he's the GM. He's the one that runs the shows, like in the matches and everything on that goes on the show. And then it will be a number 1 contender for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. But yeah, but yeah. Also, yeah, what you thought about tonight's SmackDown as well? Let me know also about that in the comments down below. And that was your list, and or not the list. That was your recap of SmackDown. But yeah, make sure y'all check out AEW Dynamite up next. I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin, on this 190th episode of the SNA podcast, and I'll see you all on the next video. Until we meet again, Super Ninja Austin, the assassin is out. Bye-bye, my SNA fans. You good.
I didn't mean to mess up your
You good. Yeah, you good.